Yo, 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 welcome back to the No Cut Sports Podcast with your host, Niall Frazier. And today we got a few things we need to talk about. But before we get started, could you please like, comment, and subscribe to always catch this vibe, man? You already know. So I've been having a great week so far, I have to say. I didn't have to have a stroke and go to the hospital watching the Eagles game. They finished. They finished and dominated the Cincinnati Bengals. So shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles. But I did want to talk about some things that I'm starting to see. I also watched shout out to Gate City Sports. I do watch other content creators, Eagles content creators for the most part. I don't really watch no other teams. No disrespect to the other teams, but I could care less what anybody else doing. But pertaining to the Philadelphia Eagles content creators, I watch a lot of those guys, follow a lot of those guys. But one in particular is Gate City Sports. Shout out to Gate City. When well, first off, I think he's a former football coach. I don't know what level he coached, but has a lot of extensive knowledge when it comes to the different schemes on offensive and defense, excuse me. And I don't have that knowledge. You feel me? So I like to, like I said, I like to try to understand the game on a deeper level if I can. So I watch his podcast, man. I watch his YouTube channel and things like that. And he just talked about how Kellen Moore is opening up this playbook a little bit more week in and week out and installing more of his offense. And you're starting to see it, man. This past week, Jalen Hurts looks so comfortable in the pocket, making plays over the middle, 6 for 6 for like 100 and something. I think it was like 100 plus yards, if I'm not mistaken. So QB1 is getting back to QB1. I think he got his swagger back.
My swagger back. I think I got my swagger back.
So you feel what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I'm liking what I'm seeing, man, and I don't want to get too far ahead, but if we keep playing like this, and this is the only bad part about winning, that means we're going to lose these coordinators, man. That's on both sides of the ball. So I don't know. That's a different video, different topic. But that's just going to be something that's going to, make me mad later on in the season, because I already can see like what this offense could potentially be. But with them installing that Kellen Moore offense, and if you remember, Kellen Moore has had a couple number one offenses in the NFL in his tenure as being an offensive coordinator. And I hopefully can continue that trend here. You even seen a balanced run and pass game with this offense that I would like to continue to see, because I feel like, man, I know I've said this before, but I really do feel like, and I mean, anybody that knows football, if you run the ball, the pass, the play action, all that opens up for you. So even if you're not, and I know I talked about it on here, my last video, like Saquon had 108 yards rushing. I said it was more kind of effective in the second half to me than it was in the first half, but you still got to run the ball. You can't take that element away and be you can't be one-sided in this game. You still gotta run the ball even if you're not getting no yards, man. And I'm talking about not just with Saquon, but it's running the ball with your Gainwells and your Will Shipleys. Will Shipley had that break-off touchdown, I thought, until the holding call got called and it got it called back, and then he got tackled in the backfield. So, but I like what I seen from Will Shipley in the preseason. So I would like to see some of these guys get worked in. I know I spoke about it before. I'm watching the Detroit Lions. You got, was it Montgomery and Gibbs back there, man? Crazy tandem. So I would like to see something like that. I think Gainwell's a sufficient enough back, but I would like to see some of them young guys get worked in there and see what they can do, man. But yeah, man, so far so good. Like I know going against Jacksonville, I didn't get a chance to look at their defense and their offense rankings and things like that. And I haven't really watched too many of their games this year, but I do know Christian Kirk is out for the season. I think he got injured this past week. I know they got Brian Thomas and Gabe Davis over there. I can't think of their tight end's name, but I think he's all right too as well. And Travis, how you say his last name? I don't know how you say my man's last name. So, but shout out to him, man. So they got some weapons over there, but I'll probably make another video later on in the week as it gets closer to the game. Injury report comes out and whatnot for both sides. And I'll make a more in-depth video about, the rankings and where their defense and all that stuff ranks. So with that being said, let's continue on, man. So as you do know, The trade deadline is Tuesday, November 5th. You got to make a trade by 4 p.m., I think it is. And I know was it Jeff Kerr that I watched, was it Philly 500 before I got on here? Jeff Kerr, I think Jeff Kerr had asked Vic Fangio if they needed to add any players on the defense, and he pretty much just said no. Now, just like Philly 500 said, he might have to say that because you don't want that bad. You want to put a bad taste in your defensive player's mouth. Pause first off, and have that lingering over, because we already know Bryce Huff ain't doing what he's supposed to be doing, and it's been rumored that Philly wants to outside linebacker or edge, whatever the case may be. So, and I'm trying because it's week 8 now. You feel what I'm saying? It was week 8. We're going into week 9. And Bryce Huff, he had a couple of games where he did a couple of things, but to be getting paid what he gets paid, man, I'm not seeing it like I want to see it. Now maybe we give him a year, like I said, and maybe next year. I mean, we ain't got no choice because he's under contract, but maybe next year he starts to come on. He's a little bit more comfortable in his defense. Some off-season work. Whatever the case may be, to get him back into the shape that he needs to be in. But we really did take a chance on, signing Bryce Huff, and we have to make sure he works out. So trying to develop him a little bit more, coach him up a little bit more, or a lot bit more because he has to pan out, man, for what we paid for him. So, but I do know that they're looking in those areas. I think I even heard that what was a wide receiver, which I don't know what's going on with Jahan Dotson. Maybe because I thought Jahan Dotson was all right. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, but it just seems, I don't know, maybe he's not, maybe Jalen's just not comfortable with him yet. Who knows, man? But we really ain't seen too much from him. We did have a couple of crucial catches in, was it the Browns game? One of those two games, it was either the Browns, I think it was the Browns game, but a couple of crucial catches that we needed from him. So I think he's just coming along. But I did hear about wide receivers. I don't think we need any help at wide receiver. They brought a Nye Smith back up. Things like that. So trying to work those guys in there. The guys that they do have, try to work those guys in there because I know last year a big thing was, we had these players, but we had no coaching. And this year we got both. So my thing is, get those guys in there. Let them young puppies get they, you know what I'm saying? Get a little taste of that feel. So I just want to see those guys get worked into the fold because look at what we're witnessing with Jordan Mailata being out. Fred Johnson. And first off, shout out to Big Fred because all due respect, and I had made a video and I said it, I didn't even know who Fred Johnson was. And that's no disrespect. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know that he was even, on the team at the time during training camp. And like I said, this is no disrespect. But Fred Johnson has been a gem on his team. Now I know he was getting he allowed, I think was it the first couple of plays he was allowing some pressure, whatever the case may be. But when he got his footing, man. He's been panning out. And that leads me into my next couple of points with, I know it's trade deadline, but I think we need to start talking about trying to lock up Zach Bond, maybe Fred Johnson. Some of these guys that are on these 1-year deals, I know Mitchell ain't play a lot, but I like what he was doing the times he's been in. Trying to lock some of these guys up because you might not really have to give up no draft capital. Honestly, you might not because we thought we were going to have to address the offensive line, but it seems to be that, like I said, Big Fred stepped in there and he's doing what he's doing. So if they can figure out a way to keep Zach Bond on this team and Milton Williams, he's another guy that I want to see stay on this team. If they can figure out a way to lock up a few of these guys, man, I'd rather see that. But I do think we need somebody for that edge, though. They also talked about Azeez. He played last night with the Giants, but it's Azeez Alalari. I hope I'm saying his name right. He had 2 sacks. 2 sacks last night on Russell Wilson. And I think, who was the other guy? Because Philly 500 said he plays for the Jaguars. Trevon. I can't think of my man's name, but I think he's tied for 10th in sacks or something like that. I think he's on his last year of his deal? Because that's what Howie like the players that are on that last year or that rookie deal. You feel what I'm saying? So, but another thing with these picks, because every time Howie makes a pick around this time, it usually doesn't pan out, man. We had Kevin Byard last year, and I'm not saying Kevin Byard was trash or anything like that. He just didn't work with us because he's out there balling in Chicago. And then you got Robert Quinn. He had came here the year before that, coming off a nice season the year before with like 17 sacks or something like that. Man, he ain't paying out. So maybe there is something to what Vic Fangio was saying, because he said they don't usually pan out. You got to think some of these players, if they don't already know the scheme or familiar with your scheme, it's going to be kind of hard to get them, into groove. Because my thing is just look at Bryce Huff, and I'm not saying he's not capable of learning, but you just look how long it's just taking him to get his foot under him. He might just need a year under this defense before he started making his presence known. So, but I do hope he pans out, man. But I do think we might have to go look for an edge, man. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm liking what Nolan Smith's doing, man. I don't know what's going on with Van Summer, but I think he's gonna be playing on offense now. So, yeah, man. I just think we just need somebody coming off that edge. I know we got Jelix Hunt too as well. I know he got the body, like he got the frame of a person that could be very effective off that edge. So, and the athletic capabilities as well. So I do hope to see him be utilized a little bit more in his defense. I'm trying to make sure I'm not forgetting nobody over there, but just some guys that that we got to give it up. We got to give it up for. So, but Steve, just some guys that I'm looking to get locked up. But if they do decide to go out here and go get a pass rusher, that's cool with me. Hopefully, it's somebody that can be effective immediately, because like I said, I don't want to go get somebody waste a pick, and we don't get nothing, nothing from it. So, if you do go out there and go get somebody, it needs to be somebody that can be effective immediately, such as Myles Garrett. I think that's the only player that you can go out there and get, and you can know that he's going to come in here and be effective immediately. His skill set is bar none. So, with that being said, man, I don't think I have any other news for you. I did want to mention this though before I got off the air. Shout out to Nakobe Dean, and this is why I said you got to lock up Zach Bond. In week 8, they both were the highest graded linebackers per PFF. Highest grade. And it's good to hear, especially with Nakobe Dean, because we've all been hard on Nakobe Dean. That's why I can be a man and sit up on this joint and apologize for the things I've said. Because I get excited just like anybody else do. I'm human. But I'm a ride. I ain't going to say what I want to say, but I'm a ride with my you know the rest. You know the rest, man. I'm a die with my button. You know the rest, man. I ain't gonna get too crazy, but we rolling, bro. Just hang on. We are rolling in the right direction. We're getting dubs. You're seeing this offense play better. The defense has been outstanding. Outstanding. Guantanamo Bay. Quinyon. Outstanding. Cooper DeJean with the tackle for the turnover on downs. Coop DeVille. Come on, baby. Come on, man. We are heading in the right direction, man. Heading in the right direction. I can sit up here and say, because I told you I didn't like this Vic Fangio scheme. I didn't think it was aggressive enough. But Vic proving me wrong, man. Vic is doing whatever he need to do week in and week out to make sure that this defense looks as good as it needs to look. So shout out to him, man. Shout out to the team. Shout out to Nick Sirianni. I really do feel like Nick, too, as well, has been taking a step back, man. I don't feel like Nick is as involved as he used to be. I know they calling it the big era, with his hair being all buzzed off and stuff like that. He's 3-0 in the big era. So my thing is this. If we can keep it continuing on, he keep doing what he's doing and allow these coaches to do what they do, because you got to give it up, man. Christian Parker, man, linebacker coach. Got Nakobe Dean, these guys ranked number 1 for week 8. Come on, man. Clint Hurt. I told y'all about Clint Hurt. He was going to come here and get these boys ready. Come on, man. Telling y'all, man. Bobby Kane, come on, man. Telling y'all. Getting these guys right. So everything has been looking good up until this point. I think the Eagles are starting to find their footing for real, though. I think the defense has been found their footing, but this offense looks like it's about to start rolling, installing more of this offense. We're seeing some different plays, seeing some different tendencies off these plays that we're used to seeing. So we just got to give it up, man. Let these coaches do what they need to do. But I still got my ticket in for the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl. That's what I wanted to say. I know a lot of people were like, before the bye week, they was like, I don't know. And I was thinking the same thing, but I'm like, you know what? It's the squad. I already got the money down. I got the best odds, I think, like 1,600, something like that. So I think I won't get too ahead of myself. Let's make it to the playoffs first. Well, let's continue to keep on winning, then make it to the playoffs. But my thing is this. The Eagles are, I'm telling y'all, man, if they can keep this up, barring injury, they're going to be a tough team to go against, man. This might be the 2022 season, if not better, all over again, man, because I'm telling you, I'm liking what I'm seeing. If they can do this to the Bengals, and I know the Bengals defense wasn't the best and things like that, but if they can continue on playing the way that they're playing, you can't tell. What are they going to see on ESPN now? What is Colin Howard or Colin Coward, whatever his name is, what is he going to say now? Huh? Nick Wright. What is Nick Wright going to say? Ain't going to be too much for them guys to say, man, because they balling out of control. You feel me? I got my swagger back. You already know, man. It's now from the No Cut Sports Podcast. If you haven't, please like, comment, and subscribe to catch this vibe, man. And I really do appreciate everybody that's been tuning in. If you're new here, we appreciate you. If you're not, stay tuned in, stay locked in with your boy. You already know. It's now from the No Cut Sports Podcast. And one more thing, man. Go Birds. I'ma holla at y'all, man. I'ma holla.